Good morning, everyone. It's time to go on the record.
More and more, paying for college actually pushes those dreams further and further.
Hillary Clinton trying to sell New Hampshire voters on her college debt plan. This, as a poll shows, her numbers are dropping there.
ISIS grew while the United States disengaged from the Middle East and ignored the threat. And where was the Secretary of State?
Then GOP rivals pouncing, questioning her foreign relations record.
Go Tommy! Tommy boy! TV!
All right, that is Tom Brady. And in another campaign, the gestational life of Deflategate is extended. Brady, Goodell, federal court. Stephen Crosby, chair of the Mass Gaming Commission, is here this morning as the Walsh win rumble over the Everett Casino escalates. And speaking of Boston's mayor,
it's been an eventful summer for Boston Mayor Marty Walsh. We asked voters to give him a grade.
From WCPB Boston, the inside word from Washington to Beacon Hill, today's newsmakers are going on the record.
And our guest this morning is Stephen Crosby. He is chair of the Mass Gaming Commission. Welcome to OTR. I'm Ed Harding, along with Janet Wu, our political reporter here at Channel 5. 4 years ago, since he became head of the agency, he is here right now to tell us where we are right now. The Plainville Slots Parlor has opened with a lot of early support. 2 casino licenses have been awarded, Springfield and Everett. There is still 1 Southeastern license available, and Boston's Mayor Marty Walsh is not happy with Steve Wynn. It's too bad there aren't things to talk about.
So what else is new?
Right, so good morning. Great to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So as you know, there's an ongoing battle between Mayor Walsh and Steve Wynn. It's been going on for quite a while, and neither side really seems amenable to compromise. Is the Everett Casino opening sort of on hold until all of this is resolved?
No, there are some formal steps that have to be taken. The environmental impact approval has to be done by the state. That appears to be on track. It looks like it will be decided, hopefully favorably, by the end of this month. Then there are a few other details, and then Wynn can go to work. In the long run, everybody agrees that they want to have Boston participate in this. Nobody wants to ram this down the city's throat. But there are no real technical steps that they can use to get in the way of the process starting. But we hope, in fact, as you know, earlier this week, the city came to a meeting put together by the State Department of Transportation to talk about a long-term solution to Sullivan Square. That is the big problem, a long-term solution to Sullivan Square. If the city is willing to participate, that's a terrific sign. They are talking, even sometimes they're talking in loud voices. Hopefully this will work itself out.
But there is a lawsuit that needs to be resolved first. That's in state court. Say that gets resolved. I mean, are there any other channels that the city has to stop the shovels in the ground by the end of the year, before the end of the year?
I don't know what all the options are, but the lawsuit does not enjoin the process. The lawsuit is there. Hopefully the process will be resolved soon. We're confident that it'll be resolved in our favor. But that doesn't stop the process. It's the regulatory environment, the MEPA process, the Mass Environmental Protection Agency process, that could stop the ball from moving forward.
Is there a point where the commission will say, we have to look elsewhere? I mean, is there a point where we got to get this ball rolling? It's not rolling there, we got to look elsewhere?
Theoretically, probably, but that would be a long way down the road. We don't see anything.
We're not there yet.
These are delays that are somewhat, I'm sorry to say, predictable. You know, the legislature knew there would be lawsuits. The legislature has a piece of our statute that says you cannot appeal our decision under the law. Now, they're trying to find a way around that. But the legislature did not want this to be delayed by lawsuits. But this is part of life. Negotiations are part of life. The mayor's representing his city and doing it in a tough-minded way. That's part of life. Sure. We'll go forward.
Do you see any way that Wynn would ever walk away from this because he gets so exasperated by all the delays?
What little I know of Steve Wynn, he's not that kind of guy. Everything that we see is they're totally committed to this. They are fixing that property. They're fixing the Monsanto chemical plant, which, as you know, has been a disaster for decades. They're hiring more people. They're spending money hand over fist. We see no evidence whatsoever that he's going to walk away.
What's your reaction to Superior Court Judge Janet Sanders' statement that the allegations in Walsh's lawsuit are public relations tool? The city's acting in bad faith. Those were her words. And the acts are improper behavior. Again, her words in the Everett licensing process. What's your reaction to that?
We have said many times that we think the lawsuit is without merit. The judge's words speak for themselves. But we believe that there is no merit here, that with the process we went through was as transparent and buttoned up a process as anybody has ever gone through in any licensing of a property in Massachusetts. No developer has been more scrutinized than this developer. So we're confident that the lawsuit will work out in our favor.
The state, let's expand this conversation a bit. The state's missing out on hundreds of millions of dollars with all the casino openings delayed. This is not the only one that's delayed out in Springfield. I guess they've also asked for permission to push the timetable back. What do you see right now as the timetables for these two, at least these two casinos opening at this point?
At this point, they both look like 2018. You know, we are as anxious as anybody to
2018. Here we are halfway through, essentially 2015.
Right. So you're talking 3 years from now before they open, probably. There's some possibility it could be sooner, but I think realistically we're talking 2018. That's the potential, the same timeline for Region C if we make an award in Region C, the southeastern Massachusetts. Nobody wants it to go faster than we do. I mean, we want it to go as fast as it can, but certain things happen. There is a serious problem with the reconstruction of a highway, a superhighway that goes right by the casino site in Springfield. They want it to not open when there's a traffic crisis around them. That's reasonable. We figured that was reasonable. The stuff that's the delays in the MEPA process, the environmental protection process, that's part of the process. So some things are beyond our control. What is within our control, we're pushing to get these things open as quickly as possible and get the money flowing. One of the things that we've said about the trouble with the city of Boston, $15 to $18 million a month is going down the drain if we postpone this.
Well, the numbers are maybe $400 million a year for every delay in a casino that's not open, and up to 10,000 jobs that are not filled. Do you agree with those numbers? I mean, if you sit around 3 years, that's what, $1.2 billion of revenue?
Well, you can't just open them like that. I mean, that's going to happen. Everybody knew it was going to take a while. We have a very complicated statute. We have more local control than any other jurisdiction in the United States. We have more participation by everybody. You know how transparent a process this has been, how long a process has been. In New York, they had closed-door meetings of their appointing commission, and nobody knows what the criteria were, and they picked out some casino sites. That's not the way we do business in Massachusetts. It takes a while, but it's the right way to go.
As you know, Mayor Walsh is out calling for a referendum in Charlestown. If that happened, would that delay everything as well?
No, that would be irrelevant to us. I mean, the law...
You would ignore any result from the Charlestown referendum if it was held?
Well, we are interested in what surrounding communities think about these projects. That's one of the things that we took into consideration when we made the award, or when the other commissioners made the award in the first place. But the law does not give us any ability whatsoever to have anything other than a host community have a vote that counts. So this is a surrounding community.
And that doesn't include Charlestown.
That does not include Charlestown.
Because you've made your decision on a host community, and it's Everett, and that's it.
And it's clear in the law. The law says that if the gaming establishment is in a community, that is a host community. It could be two, like Suffolk Downs was once. This one is in Everett, and Everett is the only host community, and that won't change.
Are you ready for the OTR pop quiz?
I'm always ready.
Look at you. See, he's always ready. You just heard him say that. Question 1. How much money has the Mass Lottery lost since the opening of the Plainridge Casino at the end of June? Remember, there was fear that the lottery would lose money to casinos. So how much has the Mass Lottery lost since the Plainridge Casino
I probably know
opened?
more about this than the question anticipated. The lottery has probably gotten, local aid has probably gotten more money because we're contributing from Suffolk Downs. I mean, from Plainbridge. We have actually contributed, I think it's something like $7 million.
Exactly.
To local aid. So the lottery sales have gone down apparently a little bit in a few establishments right around Plainville, but the overall take for local aid, which is where lottery money goes, has actually gone up.
Oh, stop showing off. You know what the answer is, okay?
He had every point. The Lottery Commission tells us none, and sales are actually up almost 1.5%, or like you said, it's over $7 million, $7.6 million. Earlier this summer, KG Urban, which is a New York-based developer, pulled out of a proposal for a New Bedford waterfront casino. They couldn't get the financing. Approximately how much money did they spend working on a bid that ultimately failed?
30 million? I forget what the
$10 million over 8 years.
10 million.
We continue on the record with Stephen Crosby. Stay with us.